Welcome! We're here because you've joined a very special group of people. They provide hospice to those facing the end of life and see their work as a calling. Hospice care promotes comfort for those approaching the end of life. It helps treat pain and other symptoms so residents and families can focus on what is important to them to make every moment count.
Residents may receive hospice care when they have a limited life expectancy of 6 months or less if the illness runs its normal course. Any life-limiting illness qualifies.
Residents who may be appropriate for hospice often show signs of disease progression that may include weight loss or decreased appetite. They may have frequent infections, need more help with activities of daily living, have more visits from physicians, or even experience more hospitalizations. Hospice care continues as long as residents and families desire it and residents continue to qualify.
Hospice care is covered by Medicare, medical assistance, or other insurance payers. Care is provided regardless of the ability to pay, disease, age, race, handicap, religion, or sexual orientation. It is provided wherever the patient calls home. Residents and families have a choice of hospice providers.
Many residents receive hospice through the Medicare hospice benefit. This benefit covers medicines, supplies, and equipment related to the resident's terminal diagnosis. The Medicare hospice benefit uses a team approach to care.
Hospice team members include all of those providing care, including physicians, nurse practitioners, social workers, nurses, hospice aides, chaplains, grief counselors, dietitians, trained volunteers, and therapists. A hospice registered nurse is available 24 hours, 7 days a week. Skilled nursing or intermediate care providers for those with special needs are often thought of as family. They are included as members of the care team. It is the responsibility of the hospice team to oversee the comfort care of residents, just as if they were living at home. This includes reviewing, planning, teaching, and evaluating residents' ongoing hospice care. The hospice care team and staff from skilled nursing facilities and other settings work together to provide quality resident care.
Hospice providers, skilled nursing staff, and other caregivers work together to promote comfort and improve residents' quality of life.
At the end of life, symptoms including pain, shortness of breath, worry, and restlessness may develop or worsen. Though a cure is no longer possible, there is much that can be done to promote comfort. Medications such as morphine or oxycodone for pain and shortness of breath, Ativan or Haldol for restlessness, Compazine for nausea, or scopolamine for increased secretions may be used to relieve symptoms.
Physical, mental, social, and spiritual needs can change the resident's comfort. The hospice care team and other staff members work together to help residents remain comfortable at the end of life. Controlling pain and other symptoms is an important part of this process.
Studies show most residents in care communities do not want to be moved at the end of life. Families and residents say they are more comfortable around staff in their care communities who are like family. Staff member satisfaction also increases when involved in residents' care. Hospice is available to you and your care community whenever necessary to improve the comfort of residents. Specific contact information can be found in the residents' medical records. Any individual who receives hospice care is entitled to certain rights, which you will find at a handout after you review this video. Rights include having pain and symptoms managed to a desired level of comfort, being informed about what services are being provided, having the right to participate and change a plan of care, and more. Communication between hospice and skilled nursing and other care community staff members is crucial to providing quality care to residents and families. Communication begins when residents are admitted to hospice and continues as their conditions change. Information provided to care community staff by hospice includes the following: 24 hours contact information, care team members and what their responsibilities include, copy of signed consents, signed physician orders for hospice admission, medications covered by hospice, hospice and attending physician orders specific to residents, hospice education, who is responsible for the coordination of care, hospice visit information, records of visits, most recent plan of care, advanced directives.
With this information, hospice providers can provide services as the residents' conditions change. The hospice team is also available and willing to participate in the skilled nursing or care community survey process that involves residents enrolled in hospice.
Now we want to touch on the death and dying. That'll help you understand what is normal and expected so you can lessen worry for those in your care. We're going to outline what might occur in the dying process, and you may always call hospice providers if you have questions or concerns.
1 to 3 months before death, you might see residents eating less, sleeping more, and being quiet or lost in thought. You should encourage food and fluids as residents wish, allow for rest, and change residents' position in bed when needed. 1 to 2 weeks before death, you might see more restlessness and agitation or confusion about time and place. Residents may not remember people familiar to them. They may experience visions of people and things not visible to others.
They may also experience incontinence of urine or stool, and urine may decrease and darken.
Medications may be helpful, along with gentle reminders to help reorient the residents. Visions are common in the dying process and may be of comfort to the dying. Medication may be helpful if visions are upsetting to residents. You must also be sure to provide residents with good personal hygiene, including oral care and providing pads, briefs, and a urinal when needed.
Days or hours prior to death, breathing may sound moist or as though someone is having difficulty clearing his or her throat. Breathing patterns change, and there may be pauses for 20 seconds or more during breathing. This is called apnea. Skin color may change from pale to blue, red or purple, or become mottled. This looks like webbing on the skin, usually over bony areas. Fevers are common at the end of life, often caused by pneumonia or changes in temperature regulating areas of the brain. It's also important to note that surges of energy when residents wake up and may want to eat can occur. Hearing may still be acute and is one of the last senses to diminish. During this time, medication may be helpful. Elevate the head of the bed or turn residents. Provide good oral care. In rare cases, oral suctioning may be needed. Keep in mind that changes in breathing are expected during the dying process. Just cover the resident loosely with blankets or sheets. Avoid too many covers. If fever is present, apply cold cloths to a resident's head. Tylenol may help.
You should also assume residents can hear and give explanations before you provide care. Encourage family members to talk with residents and sit with them yourself as time allows. If there is a period of wakefulness or energy, alert family so they can spend quality time together.
Lastly, we want to talk with you about grief, a normal process of reacting to loss. We experience personal loss and change throughout our lives. Residents experience grief and loss as changes occur throughout the dying process. Staff members also experience grief because they may have cared for residents for a long time. There's no right or wrong way to grieve, and everyone responds to grief differently. There are a wide range of normal responses to grief that include numbness, sadness, loneliness, emptiness, anger, guilt, regret, or relief that the loved one may no longer be suffering. Spiritually, you may struggle to find meaning in your loss or may feel more spiritually connected. Physical responses to grief may include difficulty sleeping and eating, or instead, you may sleep and eat too much. Some withdraw from family, friends, and activities because grief takes a lot of energy. Grieving people may have trouble concentrating or feel fatigue, restlessness, and body pain. How long does grief last? As long as it takes to adjust and learn to live with the loss, experts say. Grief is no longer thought of as occurring in stages. It is really more of a roller coaster full of ups and downs. Over time, we work through feelings experienced by the loss. At that point, feelings of grief will lessen. This does not mean that we have forgotten or stopped loving the person who died. It means we can remember without as much pain. To help others who grieve, encourage them to acknowledge and accept that they are grieving. People need to be gentle with themselves and others. Balance home, play, work, and rest. We must all be sure to communicate feelings and allow others to offer support. People can also create healthy memories by talking and reminiscing. Some may want to say thank you and goodbye to staff members at a loved one's care community, attending memorial events there. It may also be helpful to seek professional help through an employee assistance program, counselor, or a spiritual advisor. Some people participate in grief support groups. Families may also contact hospice staff for assistance.
It's also important to emphasize that the grieving process takes time and that we, as hospice workers, are always available to talk through feelings.
Thank you for your time today. We are glad you chose to be a part of the hospice journey and appreciate your dedication and devotion.